Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a cast of Vanguard, prototype RTS game. And it is built within the StarCraft 2 engine, so you can play it today. You can play it right now. Go into StarCraft 2 Arcade, which is free with StarCraft Starter Edition. Type in Vanguard, and you'll find the game, and you can play it with your friends. There's 1 versus 1 maps, there's 2 versus 2 maps, and someday there'll be 3 versus 3 maps. And with me today is Zephius. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm also known as the Starbow guy. For those, most of you who don't know me.
That's right. And we have playing here another Starbow guy, December's Calm, who you know very well. He'll be playing Fenix today. And then we have Super Bales, who will also be playing Fenix. Double Fenix, something we've seen before. And against 2 Terrans, we got a Raynor, who's played by Torque, and Warfield, who's played by Theo.
I just have to mention something right off the bat. December's Calm just took 2 gases before doing anything else. That's super techie play. I don't know if that's normal at all. I haven't paid attention to the meta these days.
Yeah, I think sometimes people go for the quick gas, sometimes they don't. What I like about the red team's strategy as a team is that you can see that one of their players is going more economy focused, and the other player is going a little bit more tech heavy. So the economy focused player can get some low level units out pretty quickly to keep that tech player alive. While he does that sort of risky play. It's kind of a nice back and forth, I think.
We got some early harassment / scouting here. This may look like a big attack or big harass, but these units are quite weak, and we have units to defend. This is more, scouting, maybe pick off a worker here or there. 1 worker killed isn't that much in this game, but we're going to have a nice little surround here by December's Calm. It's going to kill a lot of Reapers, and they are melee ranged Reapers and Adepts, and that's why you didn't see them attack earlier there.
Yeah. It's one of the changes that we made to make things more scoutable. We have a pretty intense development going on in the top center of the map. Theo is proxying a barracks.
Oh, and not just proxying. Behind that, the team has double expanded and just staying on very low tech tree, just 1 gas, just ecoing it up plus proxy, which is something you'd never see in StarCraft 2. It's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, so they're sacrificing their tech to be able to make this really aggressive move. So they're going pretty heavily into, an army economy investment. They always say, technology, army, and economy. You can't have all 3. You just have to pick 2, and those are the 2 that they've chosen. A little bit more scouting battle. Some Marines over here from Torque are going to push away the scouts, and I actually don't think that Red Team got too much information about what Blue Team was up to.
That's a good point. They didn't even see the second expansion from Torque there, but meanwhile we do have a Herald up from December's Calm. This is a very harass-oriented unit, almost like a mini Reaver drop, if you remember those from Brood War. So this is going to be interesting. See if he can do some damage to the mineralize of his opponent.
Oh man, but we have the Marauders coming in. This is Warfield's tier 1 unit, going to start doing some harassment damage. Will the Herald turn around? It looks like no. He's just going to make some more units at home, some Zealots to chase us around, but those are all melee units that are going to have a hard time against the micro of Theo.
Indeed, and he did lose a lot of workers there, but there are still 20 left, so a little damage done, but not too heavily. If he can fend this off with these Zealots and Adepts, he should be in a decent position, and hopefully December's Calm can get some damage done with his Herald, or Heralds. I think there's 2 of them now. Yes, there is.
Yep, there are 2 Heralds going across the map. We can move over to them now. We have 1 going to the natural base and 1 going to the main base of Theo. And this is gonna hurt Theo the most, right? Because Theo's the one microing right now. He's microing his other units. We had a bomb go off over here. 6 kills already for this Herald. We have quite a few kills for this Herald as well. Gonna get Torque trying to defend his ally while his ally is across the map microing this out, starting to kill off some Dragoons. And do keep in mind these Marauders can shoot up, as you see here. That has the tier 1 unit. It's important to be able to have a shooting up unit on tier 1, as we all know and love.
Indeed, and the Heralds do have this plasma bomb that is a skill shot that we saw earlier when December's Calm was harassing the mineral line, and it takes a while for it to charge up, so he needs to pull back and before he can go back into harassing.
Oh man, so much lost mine time with these workers attacking this barracks, and also the whole mineral line has basically been cleared out because the Heralds were not focusing the Marauders, and it looks like they're gonna get even more damage done. This is absolutely incredible.
The barracks did go down, but Red Team has taken some losses here now. He's finally going to chase out these Marauders, I think with the Heralds. He's not using skill shots defensively, but he is trying to do some more harassment offensively with the 2 Heralds he has on the other side of the map.
Yeah, a lot of damage for these 2 Heralds. Oh my god, 28 kills in total just from these 2 Heralds. He's going to move them away. In the meantime, the very last of the Marauders clean up when the dust settles. It looks like the Red Team is actually not in too bad of a spot. They're a little bit behind in mineral income, but in gas income, they're so far ahead.
Indeed. Now, December's Calm is not really taking the opportunity to harass this third base that's outside there. He knows about it, but he's kind of forgotten about it, and he's going to try and go in a third time into the main base instead and see what he can do. This is a risky move, and he misses with the first skill shot. Maybe he can get the second one, though.
here.
The SCVs are clumped up pretty good. He's getting...
Oh wow, my god, that split from Theo.
Very good, and Theo with excellent mark. Now these heralds are so low, they can't really do anything. There's another missile turret there.
Yeah, this is a really tough position to be in for sure. The missile turret going to kill both heralds. Very intense, high gas unit. You really don't want to lose those. They're like, you know, like an oracle. You want to keep them alive, continue to get value out of them for the rest of the game. And going in like that was a bit of an overextension, I feel.
Meanwhile, though, Torque had a Marine arm in the middle here, and December's Calm or Super Bales mostly, is trying to, contend with that. And the Heralds are also there. These are Super Boil Savers. Oh, they both are going for Heralds. I missed that completely. Wow, look at that.
Yeah. There's so much going on. It's incredibly hard to keep up with everything. Overall, the Red Army is in advantage. The Red Army is doing quite well. Theo just having so much trouble getting his active forces up after all of that harassment and his investment into the attack. Big hit from the Herald going down. Going to clear out a lot of these Marauders, and this Red Army is huge.
Nice attack here from Red. Red is split up a little bit though, and these Hurts are gonna, grapple on top of these Dragoons and actually not trying to finish them off, but rather trying to save the command center here. Might be a little bit of an overextension from Torque because he could get sandwiched from these Dragoons going from behind now.
He's coming in all directions. Look like that proxy barracks from before has landed, and it's going to help be a reinforcement point for this base and could help in this battle. We have a chrono going down on the Dragoons that makes them shoot faster and move faster. It only applies to allied units, and that's going to help them out a bit in this fight. But the Marauders are coming from the north, from that forward warp-in point, or reinforcement point, I should say. And it looks like, oh, is he going to get the Herald? Just barely cleans up the Herald, bringing the total Herald count of the Red Deep down all the way to 1 as these last few Marauders are cleaned up.
Unfortunately, though, he's basically losing the rest of the Marauders, like you pointed out, and Red did win this attack, and is keeping the pressure up, and it's up to Blue now to try and chase the Red Army away from the doorstep. Almost sounds like they're Russian or something. The Red Army is coming.
Yeah, I was thinking that as I was saying it out loud, but we do have the action continuing around. A little bit more harassment as Herald does manage to get 3 kills, but that is all. Finally, the Herald pressure is being dealt with properly by the blue team. Such a difficult situation to have, and it looks like they're going to lose this watchtower here. Going to sacrifice it and back off, wait for a better position, potentially using this choke to defend themselves. They're in a rough spot overall, blue team. They've got a smaller army size by quite a bit.
Now, he did get a couple of Liberators. They can, potentially get the choke there, but, sieging up a little bit late, but the Red team is pushing back, and these Liberators can now potentially deal some damage. Oh, get the Diamonds back to siege up. This is very nice. Yep,
Diamondbacks starting to get sieged up, but the problem is they were a little bit too aggressive. They got taken out right away. It's the problem with these siege zones. You can very easily flank them if you already have a Zealots right on top. It's not too difficult. This is such a rough scenario. In the meantime, though, the proxy barracks, oh my god, proxy barracks everywhere. He's just rallying them in different directions to harass multiple mineral lines so he can focus on his micro at home. He's going to lose his starport, though, and that cuts down his potential supply for air units in a major way. In a 100% way. He will not have any air units, but he is managing to do quite a bit of harassment on the other side of the map. If we look at the incomes, they are favoring Red team, I guess. It's so back and forth, it's really hard to tell until the dust settles.
Yeah, and Theo's doing so much worse than Torque. Well, he had to pull all his workers, so we're going to see a big change once they start mining again. Now, when the Red team was pushing up that ramp, he had a Herald throw one of his plasma bombs on top of the Marines, which opened up that attack immensely. It was a very nice move there. And
we have a Herald over here with 10 kills, continuing to do some harassment on this base. Theo has not been able to keep this base running up for long at all, and it's cutting into his economy. And more, we're seeing a tiny or non-existent army from Theo. This is such a rough scenario because he doesn't have a lot of a bank. He needs to be able to construct his army. He needs this base, but he can't get it.
Yeah, and we see Red taking more and more expansions as well, just inching themselves closer and closer into a winning position. So this is going to be harder and harder for Blue to fight against.
Yep, they need to get a lot of good victories, and they need them very quickly. As this army is pinning them down, they're running out of time. They're on a clock here. They need to be able to secure another base, or they're going to have to forfeit.
You're seeing some special, abilities cast all over. This comes from the command centers and the nexuses, which have a third resource called Selnaga resource that they can keep using these abilities. But we do see Red now moving across to the right side of the map, going to try and sniff out that expansion from Torque. They haven't scouted it yet, but it's
this
pretty
might
obvious
be
that there's something there.
This is such an important base. On the other side of the map, Theo is trying to get his third up, but without this base, they pretty much have nothing, no leg to stand on at all. Without this base, they do not have enough economy to keep up with the red team.
They're already behind in economy, so this is very important to keep this base alive and also to keep their army alive, but they are getting a little bit sandwiched between all these Protoss units.
Oh, man. These Diamondbacks try to get set up, but by the time they can get a shot off, they're already taken down by the charged Zealots. Their army is shrinking. There is almost nothing left, and that's it. GG, red team.
GG.
Some excellent defense of that proxy barracks. Just really taking a small advantage and incrementally pushing it forward over and over again. That denial of the center bottom base, such a huge part of why red team was able to capitalize and push and come up with a victory here.
Really shows how important it is to tech in this game too. Getting those tech heavy units really helped it, push the edge to clean up all those cheap units from blue.
Oh yeah, it was so critical. I mean, like the blue team were on 1 gas total with 4 available to take for a majority of the early game, if not the entire early game. They put so much into that proxy barracks harassment, and on the other end, the Heralds did almost just as well. So in the end, we saw. When we looked at those incomes, we saw that red team was pretty much ahead, maybe 100 minerals a minute behind in mineral income, but they had so much more gas. This more sophisticated army composition could come through and in the end help them secure their bases and ultimately lead to the victory.
Indeed.
Well, thank you so much. I almost called you Theo. Thank you so much, Ziphius, for joining me on this cast. It's been a whole lot of fun.
My pleasure.
Hopefully we'll be able to do some more in the future. Definitely love casting with you. And of course, thank you to Theo December's Calm, Torque, and Super Bales for playing this epic game out for us. If you want to play test, we play test usually Tuesdays through Saturdays, 9 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. That's when I stream. You can check it out on JaKaTaKtv. But there's also play testing going on kind of sparsely all over the place. In the middle of the afternoon, you might find some play testers. So definitely use that Discord link. Use the @here command to ping anybody and say, hey, anybody here want to play some games of Vanguard? Get in and leave us your feedback. Tell us what you think about the cast, what you think about the game. Give us your crazy ideas. Tell us what's OP, what's UP, what's, I don't know, something else with the letter P. And we'll see you again real soon. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day.